you got a coach who talks about execution, talks about compete, talks about consistency. Well, he has a player he could point to, and that's Blake Wheeler.
There's a simplicity to his game. When you get a guy that's just that darn fast, there's not a lot of guys in the league that can cover that much ice in that short a period of time.
Thorpe scores! Wheeler, backhand!
Blake Wheeler is a tough body to handle.
Blake Wheeler wants to be that driving force.
Scores! Blake Wheeler!
He's become a star in this league, period.
I'd put Wheeler in the top 5 in the NHL one-on-one because he has that speed, but he has the reach, then he has the quickness. He's got it all.
They do need a captain here, and I wonder if he's not the next likely candidate.
Our next guest was just named the second captain in the second incarnation of the Winnipeg Jets on his 30th birthday, no less. Blake Wheeler joins us from Winnipeg. Thanks for taking the time, and congratulations on being named captain, Blake.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
First off, it's been a pretty bittersweet 24 hours, it being your birthday, being named captain as well. It's all good, but your Vikings lost Teddy Bridgewater for the year. That's got to hurt, no?
Yeah, we were talking about that a little bit earlier. It's just kind of another day in the life of a Vikings fan.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, back to you. You take over the captaincy from a guy respected league-wide in Andrew Ladd. What did you learn from him that you yourself will carry with you as captain of this organization? Huge responsibility, obviously.
You know, his demeanor never really changed, you know, after a good game, after a bad game. You know, I really learned how to kind of put the good ones behind you and put the bad ones behind you even quicker. And, you know, Laddie prepared himself every single day to be the player that he is. And, you know, it took me a little bit of time to learn that. And I think the last 5 years I've really learned, you know, a lot from him in that regard, and as well as just kind of how to handle yourself being the leader of a team.
Nice. Obviously, you've spent the majority of your career now in Winnipeg. How do you feel that you've matured as a player and a person since you've been there in Winnipeg?
Well, in a lot of ways, you know, came here kind of as a young kid, and now I have 2 young kids of my own. So I've grown up a lot as you know, as a father, and try to grow up as a player. And you know, kind of what I talked about with Laddie before, just, you know, how to prepare yourself every day to be the player that you want to be. I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned since my time in Winnipeg, and I think it's helped me take my game to a new level.
Blake, we saw how wild the city went when you made the playoffs in 2015. That's your only trip so far to the postseason with this franchise. Do you feel the pressure of expectation for your team this year to get back there?
I don't think so. You know, I think it's important to not read too much into it anyway, either way. You know, you're never as good as people say you are. You're never as bad as people say you are. So, you know, you just want to stay level-headed. And, you know, everyone's in the same place to start the season, so everyone has a fresh opportunity to try to achieve their goals.
Your team locked up some key players, of obviously Mark Scheifele, Matthew Perreault, and Patrick Laine has signed his entry-level contract, but you're still waiting on Jacob Trouba. Your fans are still waiting on Jacob Trouba. What does he add to your team, and are you confident that you can get him back into the fold on opening night?
Well, you know, he's a great young player. You know, he's a good personality in our room. He really added a lot, both on and off the ice. So we obviously want him out there. Those things are obviously out of anyone else's control. It's the business side of things that can sometimes, you know, hold things up. But you know, we hope he's behind our bench opening night.
Blake, it's going to be a busy year for a good chunk of your team with 7 players in the World Cup of Hockey. You'll have games that matter earlier than normal. Personally, do you think it's a bonus for players who get competitive games under their belt before the regular season begins?
Well, you know, as long as everyone's you know, coming in physically, you know, where they need to be, so nobody's getting hurt. I think that's probably the biggest concern is, you know, you don't want guys pushing it too early, too soon, then you know, setting themselves back for their club coming up. So I think guys do a good job taking care of themselves nowadays, so it shouldn't be much of a problem.
All right, I know we're all in Canada, but what does it mean to you to put on that American jersey?
Well, it's always an honor to represent your country. You know, I always take a lot of pride whenever I get the opportunity, and it was certainly a huge honor to be a part of the Olympic team, and it's going to be a huge honor again here in Toronto.
Blake, thank you very much for your time. Congratulations. Good luck at the World Cup. All the best to you.
All right, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.